Cinemasaurus Rex presents Kaijumania.
Welcome back to Cinemasaurus Rex. I'm Rocky, and this week it's Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla Part 2. We start off with Mecha King Ghidorah, his head. They know about it, apparently. They've known about it for a while, but this time they decided to use it to think, you know what, we can make a great counter-agent for Godzilla. We'll make Mechagodzilla with the technologies from this head. So they do all that kind of business, so they're cracking on with that. Meanwhile, there's this guy who's been assigned to be a part of the Godzilla team. And he says, alright, what are you into? What are your hobbies? What do you like? And he goes, oh, I like pteranodons. So yeah, what are your hobbies? He's like, yeah, my hobbies are pteranodons. It's like, what do you mean? What do you mean that's your hobby? It can't be your hobby. Liking something isn't a hobby. Dickhead. Right, get to counter team you. Fuck off. Just get out of my office. So this pteranodon enthusiast, they're excited about his new role. Meanwhile, there's like some excavation going on or something. This team of archaeologists, they're digging away to find this little dinosaur bones. What is it? It's a pteranodon. What do you know, eh? And there's two eggs. There's a hatched egg and an unhatched egg. I'm like, ooh, a bit dubious this. So they get the unhatched egg, they tie it down. This unhatched egg's about 6 foot tall, so it's clearly not a dinosaur egg, because no dinosaur egg was 6 foot tall. Whatever. That aside, they tie it down overnight, get the heads down for night, when all of a sudden this swooshing comes down, and it's Rodan. Now, I was shocked about Rodan, because I didn't even know Rodan appeared in the Heisei era. That just shows you that I completely forgot about this film and didn't even realise Rodan with it. So it was a nice surprise, nice to see Rodan back. And he's going after the egg. I think, hey up, look, it's probably Rodan's egg, isn't he? He's going to try and do that. So he starts turning away the camp, going after the egg. Then up, out to sea, Godzilla. And like, oh shit, straight out the bat we're getting a big fight going on. So Godzilla and Rodan eye each other up straight away. I mean, Rodan's just come off the Godzilla's just come off the back of a loss with the Mothra Batra deal. So he comes out of this film, he sets off strong, got his title, and he's like, Rodan, you, me, no. We have got unfinished business, because they've got unsettled beef back from the Showa days. You know, back from Ghidorah the three-headed monster, when they had that fight and it never got resolved. But now Godzilla's like, right, Ghidorah's dead, me and you, let's have it out, let's see who really is the best. Rodan, well deserved of his title shot. He's held Godzilla on multiple occasions. He's been waiting a long time for this title shot, and he definitely deserves it. So, Rodan, Godzilla's trying to use atomic breath. He keeps missing. Rodan's flying about. He's just dodging everywhere. Wind attack, circles around the back of Godzilla, puts Godzilla down, smacks him down. Starts smacking him around on the floor, starts trying to peck at him. Godzilla grips him by the throat and just throws Rodan. He's like, you fuck off, you. Gets up and starts fire blasting at Rodan. He starts really letting his atomic breath loose. The excavation team, they bugger off with the egg. Godzilla atomic breath right at Rodan. You think Rodan's been killed, because Rodan just goes absolutely down and out. And Godzilla, no doubt about it, won the match. Godzilla is still your monster heavyweight champion. Now, the excavation team, they announce that they've got this big egg. They announce it on the news for some reason. The Pteranodon fan, he's all up for that. He's like, oh my god, if there's anything I love, it's Pteranodons. So he gets in his car, goes straight there, he perks up, he wants to get pictures of this. In his window, he's actually got a stuffed Pteranodon just stuck to his window, just to show you, he really loves Pteranodons. There's nothing he doesn't love more. So he marches out, barges into his office, he's like taking pictures, and there's this little woman's like, hey, are you at press? Who are you with? He's like, no, but I do like Pteranodons. This is the Pteranodon egg. The egg hatches, where some music happened, basically, which causes the egg to hatch, and we get baby Godzilla, not Rodan. So that was another twist. It's like, oh, there you are. That's the reason Godzilla was marching out to sea and getting Rodan. Nothing to do with just, well, there were beef there as well, but he was trying to protect the baby Godzilla there. And now, this is the confusing part, because, you know, this 6 foot egg, which is Godzilla, little Godzilla Jr.'s hatched out of, it's clearly Godzilla's kid. There's no doubt about it. They're trying to pass it off as a Godzillasaurus. It's like, well, no. We know it's not a Godzillasaurus. Because we've seen a Godzillasaurus in Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. We know exactly what your interpretation of a Godzillasaurus looks like. This little bastard looks nothing like that. Plus, a Godzillasaurus is only like 25 foot or however big you made him, compared to Godzilla, who's like, 200 feet or whatever it is. There's a massive size difference as well. And plus, a Godzillasaurus, even if he was 20, 30 foot tall, he would not be having a 6 foot egg. So you've got it wrong. It's definitely not any of that shit. So don't try and kid me saying this egg is 65 million years old. You got your facts wrong. It's a baby Godzilla. Accept it. Godzilla hears baby Godzilla's egg hatch or whatever. So he comes out to sea, and this is a great time for him to pilot the new Mechagodzilla 2. So they all get in the suit. So it's a lot different in a way, because think about it. The original Mechagodzilla wasn't piloted by anyone. It was all operated by, evil space monkeys. So this is where you get men actually having to control it. And so it's a source for good. It's not evil Mechagodzilla. He's trying to defend the Earth now. And just a quick one on the suit. From like the neck down, I think it looks really good. I do like it. But this goofy fucking grin it's got in its mouth, I'm just not a fan. It's probably my least favourite design of Mechagodzilla. I'm not really a fan of that at all. So anyway, Mechagodzilla comes down. Godzilla's marching over. We get a second title fight already. Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, and it's a bit of a doozy. I tell you what, Mechagodzilla's giving him everything. I mean, they try and stay faithful to the original. Instead of the rainbow laser eyes, he's got a rainbow breath now, which I'm kind of into. He's got these laser eye things as well. But anything Godzilla fires at Mechagodzilla can reflect through his stomach, through what they call a plasma grenade, even though it's not a grenade, but whatever, it's this big plasma cannon thing that fires out of his stomach. And it really is really effective. It puts Godzilla straight down. He's down and out for the count here, and then they fire these little electric things out his hands into Godzilla and start like surging all this power, trying to overload him, trying to kill him. But we all know that Godzilla doesn't work like that. Lightning makes him stronger, so it was a really bad move, because it just kind of causes Godzilla to kind of wake up. All this power surging through Godzilla goes back through it and overloads the Mechagodzilla. So Mechagodzilla just stood there. Godzilla stands, barges him down, and puts Mechagodzilla down, damaged him. Godzilla walks off. Godzilla is still your heavyweight champion. He just puts Mechagodzilla down. So it's like Mechagodzilla may have done it, but they kind of they killed themselves, didn't they? Really, with that, fucked it all up. So after Mechagodzilla fails, they send the army after Godzilla, and you can pretty much kind of sum up. I don't even need to go into detail. You kind of know what's going to happen there, don't you? Fucking army. So because basically Godzilla is still on his way to try and find baby Godzilla. He gets right to baby Godzilla. It's a bit similar to how like Mothra Lava nearly got to the twins. It's very similar to that, because he gets right to where he's being held. He starts smashing the building. I think he's going to kill the little bastard here. And then baby Godzilla gets scared. And when he gets scared, his eyes glow red. And I tell you what, that's one frigging defense mechanism for being scared, because he looks evil as shit. He looks like something from Ghostbusters. And little baby Godzilla's scared, makes these little weird noises. And then Godzilla kind of looks a bit dejected and a bit upset, really, that little baby Godzilla's giving him shit. And so, oh, well. And then he just turns around and walks off. He's like, well, you know what? I thought we had something here, and you're rejecting me already. And he's not happy, Godzilla. He walks off. He looks like really sad about it at all. He's like, oh, I thought I was going to, raise a good son. I'm going to take him to the game, do all that good stuff. And he's just, well, at this point, some other weird shit happens. I don't really know what's that. Every time like little baby Godzilla hears this song, it sends him a bit mental. And for some reason, he's linked to Rodan. I don't understand why, but the song gets played to baby Godzilla, and then for some reason, baby Godzilla lets out this little weird cry, and then Rodan, who got his ass kicked earlier, wakes up, and then he gets transformed. I don't know what's happening, but all of a sudden, all this weird shit comes to him, and he becomes like some kind of set on fire, and he's got this new laser breath, and it's like, what the fuck's going on here? I have no idea what's going on. Don't understand it. They don't even try and explain it. Rodan now, he goes on a rampage of the city, starts destroying shit. On his meanwhile, whilst he's destroying all this shit, he kind of picks up baby Godzilla along the way in this crate, kind of sets him down in the middle of the city, and he looks like We don't know what's going to happen between Rodan and Baby Godzilla. It looks like there's some kind of interaction going to happen. However, at this point, Mechagodzilla 2 has been revived. He's now been reworked and back to normal. And he's now got his new super duper backpack thing. So the backpack starts chasing Rodan. I don't know why I call it a backpack. The backpack starts, chasing Rodan like that. Starts firing it in. Rodan's going all that. Puts the backpack down right through a building. Rodan's kind of beating that pretty easily. But Mechagodzilla turns on Rodan. He starts firing his eyes, firing his lasers. Rodan fires his new atomic breath thing, whatever it is. Mechagodzilla rejects it all, fires it back through his atomic blast, and it fucks Rodan up. And Rodan goes down hard, and it looks like he's just bleeding like shit everywhere. It's like Mechagodzilla really done a number on him, and Rodan is down and out. So a little bit of celebrating, but not for long, because Godzilla comes back. He's had second thoughts about it all. He's like, you know what? He is my son. I can't let this happen. I'm going to have to go and have words. I'm going to have words here. So Godzilla starts marching out to see Mechagodzilla just come off back of that fight with Rodan. I mean, I guess it were a #1 contenders match, you could say. So Godzilla yet again. Mechagodzilla, he just gives everything to Godzilla. They both do the atomic breath thing where it meets in the middle, but Mechagodzilla's is more powerful than Godzilla at this stage. Puts Godzilla down. Mechagodzilla unleashes every frigging thing he can out of his eyes, out of his mouth. He just really does a number. The atomic thing out of his stomach, the plasma cannon, really fucking Godzilla up. Godzilla is down and out. He gets the electric thing, surges again, because they've now discovered Godzilla's got a second brain in his tail. So they focus all their energy on there. They're trying to paralyze Godzilla so that he just can't get up. So they're doing all this. They're killing Godzilla. We get a close-up of inside Godzilla's brain. It starts to come apart, and he's fucked. He's down. He's dead. Mechagodzilla is about to become your new champion, when all of a sudden, little baby Godzilla pipes up. Rodan makes him get up again. Rodan flies over here. Mechagodzilla shoots at Rodan. Rodan falls, flaps onto Godzilla. I should mention that the backpack's also been revived and come onto Mechagodzilla. That's why he's firing like these big cannons and everything. He's like really giving him everything. So you would think, hey, well, should we not disqualify Mechagodzilla on that? But this is a no disqualifications match. Weapons are allowed. This is just no different from someone using a steel chair. He's just got the weapon. We're allowing the match to continue. We're not going to disqualify him on that basis. And that's very important, because Rodan, he lands on top of Godzilla and starts doing all this razzle-dazzle shit. I don't know, all this fairy dust comes everywhere. He kind of disintegrates into nothing and puts all his power into Godzilla. Don't really know how that works. So this electric charge is still going through Godzilla, but all of a sudden when Rodan goes into it, he becomes super powered and it rejects all this power. It overpowers Mechagodzilla again, but he doesn't quite incapacitate it just yet. So Godzilla's now got this new mega fire red atomic breath. And I'll be honest, I'm not really a fan of the atomic red breath. I just like the classic blue. I'm not really asked about this level 2 version of his breath. I'm just like, not really. It doesn't really do anything for me. It doesn't look as good neither. That blue laser breath, it's just the blue atomic breath. It just stands out more. It's just more iconic, and it's got a better look. Like red and the orange, whatever you want to call it. It's just a bit meh. Not really. So Godzilla comes and he's firing at Mechagodzilla, who, because he's got a backpack on, they keep calling him Super Mechagodzilla or whatever. Anyway, he's firing. His atomic breath is way more powerful than Mechagodzilla's now. It overpowers him completely. Boosh, puts him down. He starts firing the lasers right over Mechagodzilla, destroys Mechagodzilla, and he's won. And Godzilla, still your heavyweight champion. Then we wrap up this little story of like, this woman's like, well, baby Godzilla, you have to go live with daddy now, and all this shit. Now, this is probably my least favourite of the Heisei era so far. The fights are good. I do like the fights. Don't get me wrong though, the fights are good. It's just the baby Godzilla Rodan thing. I don't know if that gets cleared up at any point in the future films, but it just doesn't make sense whatsoever. I just no idea what the hell's going on there. Why did Rodan get these superpowers? Why did Rodan then give them powers to Godzilla? Just that kind of shit just didn't make sense. So it's a tough one to recommend, really. I mean, for the fights, I would give it a thumbs up. For the fights, overall though, with the rest of it, it's a bit of a kind of leering on the down a bit there. But you know, the fight scenes do make up for it, and they do make it more interesting. So I will leave it at a thumbs up. But it's a shaky thumbs up, a shaky thumbs up. I mean, Godzilla, we nearly see him lose the title. This is probably the closest we've seen him to losing the title, because if it wasn't for Rodan interfering and helping out, I mean, he didn't actually interfere in the match, he didn't start attacking Mechagodzilla, but he did, you know, get involved somehow. So he nearly. I mean, even if Godzilla did get disqualified, he'd have still walked away with the title anyway. So it didn't really matter didn't affect the outcome in too much. But we nearly see him lose. So do recommend it, but only just. Next week it is Godzilla versus Space Godzilla. Next week. Sayonara.